Types of chemical reactions. There are mainly four types of chemical reactions: combination reaction, decomposition reaction, displacement reaction, and double displacement reaction. Dear student, there are mainly four types of chemical reactions. Those are combination reaction, decomposition reaction, displacement reaction, double displacement reaction. Among all these chemical reactions, in this session, we are only focusing on combination reaction. Combination reaction. Let us focus on definition of combination reaction. Combination reaction is a type of reaction in which two or more elements or compounds in the form of the reactants combine to form a single compound. What actually meant by the combination reaction? It is very simple. Here what happens, two or more elements or compounds. Remember, focus on this sentence here. Two or more elements or compounds. Remember, two or more elements or compounds, they are in the form of the reactants. Altogether these, whether the compounds or the elements, they react together and results in the formation of only one compound. Remember, here in this reaction, only one compound is formed. Single compound is formed. This combination reaction is generally represented like this. First, there we will find products like A and B. So both of these are the reactants in the form of the element or compound and results in the formation of compound. This is what is known as combination reaction. Let us understand the combination reaction with the help of examples. First one is production of slaked lime. Dear student, in this reaction, calcium oxide is also known as quicklime, reacts with water to produce calcium hydroxide. Calcium hydroxide is also known as slaked lime. In this reaction, heat is also liberated. Dear student, calcium oxide reacts with water. Here the calcium oxide reacts with water and produces calcium hydroxide. In this reaction, heat is also given out. So this is one example for combination reaction. In this combination reactions, since heat is produced in this reaction is also known as exothermic reaction. In this reaction, heat is also produced and hence it is also known as exothermic reaction. This reaction is an example of both combination and exothermic reaction. Dear student, here the calcium oxide is one compound, water is another compound. Both of these compounds react together and produces only one compound. And hence it is nothing but it is a combination reaction. In this reaction, heat is given out. That is why it is also an example for exothermic reaction. Let us consider diagrammatic explanation of combination reaction. We have already studied that formation of calcium hydroxide or slaked lime in previous example. So here diagrammatically we have to understand the combination reaction with respect to the previous example. Here beaker with quicklime or calcium oxide is taken, and for that beaker water is added, and hence the reaction between calcium oxide and water takes place. As a result, slaked lime calcium hydroxide is formed and heat is also given out. So this is how we can understand diagrammatically the combination reaction. What is quicklime and slaked lime? Calcium oxide CaO. Calcium oxide, molecular formula of calcium oxide is CaO. Calcium oxide is known as quicklime. Remember, calcium oxide is also known as quicklime. It is used for manufacturing cement. In the preparation of cement, calcium oxide is widely used. And another name for calcium oxide is quicklime. Then what is calcium hydroxide? Molecular formula of calcium hydroxide is CaOH twice. Calcium hydroxide is also known as slaked lime. Remember, student, calcium hydroxide is also known as slaked lime, and it is used for whitewashing. Calcium hydroxide used for whitewashing. Calcium hydroxide reacts with carbon dioxide present in the air to form a thin layer of calcium carbonate on the wall. So here the reaction takes place between calcium hydroxide and atmospheric carbon dioxide, and it forms a layer of calcium carbonate on the wall. Here what happens, the reaction takes place in between calcium hydroxide and atmospheric carbon dioxide and results in the formation of a thin layer of calcium carbonate on the wall. The molecular formula of the calcium carbonate is CaCO3. So here what happens, calcium hydroxide, it reacts with atmospheric carbon dioxide. Calcium hydroxide reacts with atmospheric carbon dioxide and it forms CaCO3, that is calcium carbonate, which is a thin layer on the wall. So here what happens, calcium hydroxide reacts with atmospheric carbon dioxide and finally it forms a thin layer on the wall, that is calcium carbonate. Dear student, calcium carbonate is formed after 2-3 days of washing. After 2-3 days of washing, calcium carbonate is formed, and moreover, it gives shiny finish to the walls. And astonishingly, chemical formula for marble is also calcium carbonate. Example 2. Burning of coal. Dear student, here coal burns with oxygen. Coal burns with oxygen and it produces carbon dioxide. The coal readily reacts with oxygen and results in the formation of carbon dioxide. In this reaction, heat is also liberated. And moreover, here one element carbon and another element oxygen, both of these chemically react together and gives only one product, that is carbon dioxide. And hence this reaction is an example for exothermic reaction and combination reaction. Example 3. Formation of water. In this reaction, hydrogen reacts with oxygen and results in the formation of water. Here, two reactants in the form of the elements combine together, chemically react together and gives rise to the compound, that is one compound, water. And hence, this reaction is an example for combination reaction. More example for exothermic reaction. Dear student, here we will again discuss about more examples in relation with exothermic reactions. Example 1. Burning of natural gas. Dear student, methane is a natural gas. Molecular formula for methane is CH4. So methane is also known as natural gas. Here what happens, methane, it burns in presence of oxygen and gives rise to carbon dioxide as well as water. Since here in this reaction larger amount of heat is produced. In this reaction large amount of heat is also released and hence it is known as exothermic reaction. However, this is not a combination reaction. Dear student, this reaction is not considered as combination reaction because in this reaction more than one product is produced and hence this is not a combination reaction, but it is an example for exothermic reaction. Example 2. Decomposition of vegetable matter into compost. So this is also one example for this whole phenomena is also one example for exothermic reaction. Dear student, here what happens, the decomposition of vegetable matter into compost is an exothermic reaction. Here during the course of decomposition vegetable is converted into compost and it is known as exothermic reaction. Why it is exothermic reaction? Because this process carried out by bacteria, the whole decomposition process carried out by bacteria. In this reaction, it is necessary to break down of organic compounds. To break down the organic compounds, energy is needed. And hence what happens, as a result, heat is released as a type of energy. And hence decomposition of vegetable matter into compost is one more example for exothermic reaction, as here in this decomposition process heat is liberated out. Dear student, example 3. Respiration is also exothermic reaction. The process of respiration is also example for exothermic reaction. During digestion, food is broken down into simpler substances. You have already known that during digestion what happens, a complex form of food is converted into simpler form. Rice, bread, potatoes, etc. contain carbohydrates and hence this type of food which contains carbohydrate must have to be broken down into simpler form of glucose. So in this respiration reaction what happens? The glucose, it actually reacts with the carbon dioxide and results in the formation of carbon dioxide and water. During this process, heat is also liberated and hence the process of respiration is also an example for exothermic reaction.